So today, man, it's your turn.
To get bashed?
To get back. Well, I won't say bash.
Bash is a mean word.
Bash is a mean word. But to be able to bring recognition to the things that are actually happening out there. So last week, the reasons women are leaving their marriages. Today, the hidden reasons men are leaving their marriages and how to try to prevent it.
Here's a question for you. Is marriage overrated?
Why aren't people getting married anymore?
A new Pew Research poll found that 2 in 5 young adults think marriage is an outdated tradition.
Marriage rates are at their lowest right now.
Is marriage really even worth it?
More than half of marriages end in divorce.
If you get married, you have to be stuck with this person for the rest of your life, right? That's why you get married. So that's why it's declining. Why would you get married if you want to have just one partner when you can have multiple?
Marriage is stupid.
Welcome to the Married AF podcast, the self-proclaimed greatest marriage relationship podcast in the world. We're your hosts, Matthew and Monica Powers. And last week we got all over women for reasons why they're leaving their men and why they're divorcing. But I left with a cliffhanger at the end of the last one. So if you haven't listened to the last episode, make sure you do, because we learned that 70% of women are now initiating the divorces in all the divorces that we see. And we talked about the reasons why that is happening, things to create that's happening, and reasons to be able to see it and hopefully prevent it. So today we're talking about, what is it? You're just all over it. So today, man, it's your turn.
To get bashed?
To get back. Well, I won't say bash.
Bash is a mean word.
Bash is a mean word. But to be able to bring recognition to the things that are actually happening out there. So last week, the reasons women are leaving their marriages. Today, the hidden reasons men are leaving their marriages and how to try to prevent it.
You said hidden reasons?
Well, I think they're all kind of hidden because we don't want to see them. And we don't want to admit when there's something wrong. We don't want to admit when there's trouble in paradise. We want to put on the brave face and act that everything is hunky-dory and perfect in our marriages. That's when you especially start to see those social media posts from people that rave about their relationship and how incredible the relationship is. And that's all they talk about all the time, and how amazing their connection is, and they have the best relationship ever. It's typically a sign that there's trouble in paradise, because they're trying to put something out there to not let anyone know that, hey, there's really some stuff going on. Now, I'm all for celebrating your spouse.
Absolutely.
You should. But when it's a constant, every single day thing to talk about how incredible they are all the time, I mean, let's be real. I mean, I think you're the most incredible human on the planet. But I know, as incredible as you think I am, I'm not incredible every single moment of every single day.
No.
So it's a little bit of a thing. But here's the reason.
Neither am I.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, I think you kind of are. But that's my opinion, and I'll keep it to my opinion.
You made me just look stupid when I just said, yeah.
No,
I agreed that you were like not always human. Jeez, Matthew.
You're perfect in every way. Just embrace the compliment and take it.
Just push me in front of the bus.
No,
Call
I
me
will.
Regina George.
I will protect you from the bus, because you must be protected at all costs, because you're amazing and unbelievable and perfect in every single way.
Okay,
I
let
think
them know
possible.
about me.
So I could talk about you all day long.
I know. That's why I'm saying move on.
I mean, let's just list the reasons of why I think you're amazing.
I love you.
I love you too. So it's always been thought that men are initiators of divorce, and sure, that happens. But we learned that women are initiating more now. Usually men were thinking, because they just want another piece. Mm-hmm. They need more booty. They need another woman. They're not getting it at home. So they're going to go off and find, because men are men and men are pigs. And this is what men do. And yes, that can be true in a sense, but it's not necessarily the case that we see today. Here are the top reasons men are leaving their marriages today. And this one's going to ring a bell from last week.
Oh, boy.
The same number one reason women are.
No.
Emotional disconnection. They feel like they are just roommates in a stagnant, boring, non-fulfilled relationship. Just completely emotionally disconnected from their spouse. I was shocked to see that men feel the exact same way that women do about that. Does that surprise you a little bit?
Yes. It's proof that men need an emotional connection.
So badly.
Not just another piece of you know what.
I know. Another piece of beep, we'll say. But I was surprised to see that. But then as I kind of read more about it, I think you see this a whole lot more in our culture, in our world today. What it says, whenever I was looking through all this, it says, when they feel unheard and completely neglected, they may withdraw, leading to the feeling of a cycle of disconnection. And over time, this can erode the foundation of the marriage. I see a lot of this now. And I go back to thinking social media posts. And we've ranted about this in the past. But when, not to get on women, but when women will post about the things that their husband will not do or are bad at for the world to see, I feel, and I love you so much and you've never ever even thought about doing that. But when I see that, I can feel everything that the man is feeling in that moment. Like, I'm worthless. I suck. I'm awful.
But just think of how it would be if it were opposite.
Explain.
If the man were to go to social media and post those things that the wife posted, this is like the same type of post. So the guy goes and posts on social media about how horrible his wife is, how all he does is all the things in the house, and all she does is just sit there and do nothing and still demands he's not doing enough.
All right, so let's role play this for just a second. Now, you are you, and you are not like most people, because if that were us and I did something like that, I mean, you'd let me know real quick how bad that would be. All right, so I need you.
More than likely, I would hear it from somebody else.
You would,
and I would see red so fast.
Yes, I mean, hell would be raining down on top of me in that moment, which I would fully deserve. But take yourself out of you for a second.
Okay.
Place yourself as just a typical, normal female who's married to a guy who may be a little overbearing. But let's put ourselves in that type of marriage for just a moment.
So you're asking me to be a basic white girl.
Please, for just a second.
No
all
offense
right?
to you basic white girls, but
Just
that's just not me.
Breathe for a moment.
Okay.
All right. Put yourself in that situation. And because you're on social media a lot, because we see both men and women on social media way more than they should, you see that your husband, who you love, but just doesn't quite give you what you need all the time, but you're doing the best you can, goes on social media, and I talk how my wife doesn't do anything. And I make some sort of stupid post that I wake up at 5 a.m. and I go to work all day long and I have to come home and cook dinner and I take care of the kids and I do the laundry and I do the dishes and I mowed the yard and I get the kids to bed and she won't even have sex with me. I can't believe I got into this. What is your initial feeling? Not as Monica, but it's just a normal, what we would probably see mostly in culture today. How are you reacting to that or responding to that? What is the initial feeling you have?
I feel like the average person or girl, woman, whoever, the female in today's world would probably cry all in her feels and go talk to her friends about it. Or possibly, I don't know that she would see this post, that she would probably totally get this from a friend because the husband has her blocked from this.
It's very possible.
No doubt. And if y'all are hearing some serious
Doesn't matter.
squishing
Continue.
noises, I'm sorry. This dog is right above us right now, scratching on the floor. It's driving me insane.
Yeah. Anyways.
But definitely go to a therapist, talk about it. I don't know that it would be backlash on a social media. I don't even know that she would go and ask about. I see a major disconnect in communication. So I don't even know if she would go to her husband and ask if he did this or was he hacked, in a sense, you know? I think it would be pushed off to the point of we're going to let our emotions completely run with this and ignore the stuff because it wasn't told to me, but I'm going to talk to everybody else about it. But when I'm in front of my husband, I would act like there's nothing there. But I'm an emotional disconnect right now because I know that you did that.
See, I'm on the exact same page. I think it would be looked at, you feel sad, you feel terrible, you feel hurt, ashamed, embarrassed, but you never say a word about it. And you just eat it and you take it and you just swallow those feelings and you're depressed and you're miserable and you hate everything about life. That's how I would see that taking place with maybe a typical, I won't say typical, but a woman's response in today's culture and world. Now, I see men doing that exact same thing now. I say when we see those posts, because we've seen them and we've talked about them.
I've seen the female side.
I've seen the
of
women
this.
make those posts. That's what I'm saying. I'm seeing the women make these posts about their husbands. Some of it probably deserved, not the way it should be handled. Some of it may be deserved, but definitely not the way it should be handled. But I see men reacting that exact same way where they see it or they hear about it, they look at it, it's sent to them, and they just swallow it and take it, and they're hurt and embarrassed, but they will never say a word to their wives to actually see what the root cause was to be able to determine what type of repair they can do there. That's what I see, and I think that's why we see so much emotional disconnection on both the men's side and the women's side.
Because there's no communication.
Exactly.
Don't swallow your feelings. Feelings are real.
Feelings are real. They're horrible leaders, but they're real. They're valid a lot of the time, but you have to be able to talk it through. And the hope would be, and the recommendation would be that if you run into this and you're feeling this, you got to go to your spouse immediately and say, hey, this is what's going on. I can't maybe fully explain why. Here's what I think why. I just need your help. I need to know that you're with me and we can get through this because this sucks and I hate feeling like this.
But nobody wants to communicate about feelings unless you're a therapist.
No, because
and that is obviously why both sides won't communicate and are emotionally disconnecting. And divorce happens because it's number one on both sides.
Number one on both sides, and I totally see that. So number two, the reason men are leaving their marriages is they feel unappreciated.
How is that different from the first one?
Well, I think the result of being emotionally disconnected is the reason why they feel unappreciated, because I think this kind of goes back to the roommate phase where we are just talking about the things that we have to do and the things that we need to get done. Like, hey, make sure you pick up this. I need you to stop by and do this, and make sure you do this. And, oh, honey, did you do this? Hey, baby, did you take care of this? Hey, what about this? Don't forget we got this tomorrow. We have this. And that's where it is. And I see this on both sides where the effort that the husband puts in is unseen and unappreciated, but I also see the effort that wives put in can be unseen and completely unappreciated. We don't necessarily see all of the things that happen, and we don't think about it, so we don't want to talk about it. We don't know all the things that the man does while he's at work or while he's at home and he's taking care of the house or taking care of the kids. None of that's seen while the wife is at work or doing whatever, and vice versa. The typical olden day, I'd say olden days, but how it used to be, the man works, the wife stays home, cooks in this. A lot of unappreciated stuff goes on there.
The 1900s.
Yes, the 1900s. Oh, my God. We were born in the 1900s. We're so old. But it's unappreciated because the man would come home like, what have you been doing all day? And I didn't even necessarily recognize this after we had kids and you stayed home with the kids. And I knew you stayed busy and you worked hard and you made sure everything was always done. But until you do it, because I remember those first time you went, I don't even remember where you were. It doesn't matter. And I had to stay home with the kids for a couple of days by myself. And it was fine. It's great. I'm more than capable to be able to do that. But man, when you got back, it was like, holy crap. I underestimate how much you actually do and how much attention those dadgum little children need from you at all times. And it makes me feel a super appreciation for what you've done.
You really don't know what you have until it's gone.
That is true.
And you have to do it all by yourself.
Yes. Or even if it just takes a few days where you walk through that person's shoes just a little bit to see what all it actually takes. So men are leaving because they're emotionally disconnected. They feel unappreciated. And number 3, this shouldn't necessarily be a shocker, but complete loss of intimacy.
I really thought that would be number 1.
Yes. No, this is actually number 3. And I think it's kind of a pattern of they're disconnected. They feel unappreciated. It works on both sides, and they are completely at a loss for any type of intimacy. It says both physical and emotional intimacy. They're crucial for so many men. A decline in affection, sexual connection, and shared experiences can lead to feelings of rejection and loneliness.
Wow.
We see this a lot.
We've been told this a lot. I'm not sure why. I'm sure maybe in some cases there's been some past trauma with sex or sexual abuse in previous relationships. Absolutely. I feel like that's a number 1 thing that can make some situations maybe less time together in an intimate moment.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, they are not who did that to you.
Right.
So you have to move past that.
You do.
But you also have to be very open and honest to this person. You know, this happened to me in the past. I'm a little vulnerable. I sometimes can't not think about those previous situations when we are very intimate. It's a trigger. Maybe something we need to work on. Because there's absolutely sex therapists out there. And I'm sure that they help big time in those situations. But I feel like if it's not one of those situations, please, women, tell me why you're not giving your man what he needs.
Yes.
Not just wants. It's a need.
It is an absolute need. It is. And men are, listen, you're not always as desirable as you may think you are. I mean, you need to, we've said it, you need to, if you want to do something. Like you need to put the effort in.
Find that love language.
Remember, women are a crock pot, men are a microwave. Men are just, you say the word and it's go time. We're ready to go. Women take a little bit longer to just be ready to go.
It's like preheating the oven.
That's why I say they're like a crock pot.
Yeah.
I mean, it takes, in crock pots, amazing meals in a crock pot.
Right.
But it takes hours and hours and hours to cook to be ready to be eaten. Well, women are no different.
I wouldn't say hours upon hours, but
you can definitely start it you can start it the morning of. Like you're feeling this and you need this. Start the foreplay the morning of. You can start before you leave for work, or you leave. You go your separate ways for the day to go to work or your jobs or whatever you have going on. You can start there. Text messages throughout the day, flirty messages throughout the day. That will help out a ton whenever it comes to women, needing to be fully ready to be able to go. As far as men go, we're always ready at the drop of the hat. But men, you have to put in the effort and put in the work to be able to do whatever it is that you're needing to try and do and trying to accomplish there. Absolutely, 100% of the time. So that's, emotional disconnection, feeling underappreciated, and loss of intimacy. So what are some warning signs that you can see? Men, you may be able to detect these. Women, you may be able to see these in your marriage, that he may be considering leaving. First one goes along with emotional disconnection. You see withdrawal from him. He becomes distance. He avoids any type of meaningful conversation. He shows really no interest in likes and wants and needs and shared activities. He just completely begins to disconnect from every bit of it.
give me an example of what that would look like.
Where he is
For a guy.
For a guy. Example for a guy, what that may look like. Say typically you do a lot of things together. But whenever let's go as simple as a conversation. When you and I have conversations, I mean, I'm all in. I want to hear all about it. I ask questions, and you telling stories can be difficult sometimes because, listen,
I am very detailed.
You're extremely detailed and a little all over the place, and we'll start a story over here. And
because something will trigger when I'm telling you one story about another story.
I'm just
put
saying.
a pin in this so I can come back to that.
Exactly. Because
blah, 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 blah.
We'll start the story. We're going on the story, and then bam, here's something over here. And then, and over here. And then we're going to pick up over here. And I'm very patient with that because I am interested and I want to hear about the stories.
I'm a very good storyteller.
You're an amazing storyteller. Okay. An example of being withdrawn from that is if those stories, and you're usually having those conversations and good conversations like that. And then you start to notice that he doesn't ask the questions. He's not looking you in the eye. He picks up his phone. He begins to cut you off.
But I feel like the phone situation is always a big deal.
It's always
already.
a big deal. But this especially if you're noting a change in the behavior. If you get a lot of, yeah, huh,
Sure.
huh, yeah. You get a lot of those answers.
That's awesome.
That's a beginning to see withdrawal from what is normal. Say you typically go grocery shopping together. Something you've always done in your relationship, whatever it looks like. And now he's not interested in doing that. You sit on the couch and he starts to sit on the other side of the couch. And you can just see it in him and in his behavior that he is no longer really interested in being that close to you or really being fully involved into your life. For me, that's what emotional withdrawal would look like.
Okay.
So if you start to see that, ladies, or men, if you see this in yourself, you see this path that you're heading down.
I would go insane.
Yeah, it would be freaking terrible. Are
Yeah.
you kidding me? Be awful. The second one is increased irritability or criticism. If he becomes more critical, has a little bit shorter fuse, he's easily frustrated, this can be a sign that, one, he's feeling unappreciated and that connection is not there. And I totally see this happening, where if the fuse just seems so short that he can get very visibly frustrated at the drop of the hat over something so simple and so small.
Well, I can do that, but it's because of the type of day I probably had.
And I don't want to discount that. I mean, that definitely happens.
But if this is a multiple reoccurring kind of situation, not just a random day where it happened, right?
Yes.
So it's a constant, no matter what happens.
I would say with all this, it's noting a pattern. I mean, we're all going to have days where we're on different sides of the spectrum, and we're going to have, like you said, a bad day, and we lose our minds over something stupid and trivial. But if you notice a pattern where it continues to happen over and over and over, and he's constantly irritable, constantly he criticizes things that he never criticized before, that would be things to, all right, what the heck's going on here? How did we get to this point? And the third one, and this I think is a big one, he avoids future planning. He avoids planning
like
and looking to
family vacation.
Yeah, he shows
or?
reluctance or disinterest in making future plans together, such as vacations, family events, or long-term goals. This would be for you and me, and I think this would go both ways for us. If either of us notice this would be like red flag number one, because we are all about future planning. I mean, we have a short trip coming up. Mm-hmm. We have a work trip that's coming up that's been planned for a little bit. After that, we've already got a summer trip planned. Mm-hmm. And just last week, you've already planned another trip for us in April of 2026. And I could not be happier about it.
Yeah.
I love the future planning.
Those are great things to look forward to.
Well, one, you get to look forward to them, but two, you get to I like researching the stuff. Like, all right, let me go on and let me watch videos about this. Let me read about this. What can we expect? Ooh, what can we do? What's something we're not sure about? I love that idea. and we do this with family trips, and we do this with just one-on-one trips for just you and I too, because those are, in a marriage, those are so critical. Like if you're married and you're not taking solo trips with each other, just you, no kids, that needs to be something we need to, and you don't have to go anywhere fancy. I mean, you can go do a little
go to a hotel
staycation
overnight.
at a hotel. That's simple. Go to a nice dinner, stay in a hotel overnight, just something different than the norm. So, but if this happened this would be red flag number one.
Yeah, because when I was booking the trip for next year, I just said, I think this might be something that could be fun. And you were, yeah, I don't know. Let's just think about it. I would have picked up the phone and called you instead of text about it, because we're constantly texting anyways.
Throughout the day.
But it would have been you okay? Do we need to talk about something? Is something going on that I don't know about? Because if you would not have been on board, it would have been a major red flag saying, we should pump the brakes on doing stuff together.
Mm-hmm.
Because we are all about doing stuff together.
Yeah, I mean, our schedules are jam-packed with the things we have going on. So we take every opportunity possible to spend time with one another, no matter what that looks like. So, yeah, I mean, if I would have said, you would have said, hey, this is going to be just a you and I trip, and this is what the plan is and where we're going to go and what we're going to do. Had I said, I don't know. I don't think so. Yeah, absolutely. And same thing for you and me. If I would have said, hey, this would be just you and me, we're going to go here for a long weekend, and you're like, baby, I don't know. Me too. I mean, it wouldn't be a phone call. It'd be a FaceTime. Like, okay, what's going on? Why would you not want to let me hear it?
Well,
and then typically, if that happens, it's gonna be, oh, well, I'm just thinking. It'd be like, okay, I hear you. All right, now tell me the real reason. What's really going on? Let's go the level deeper with that.
But for us, we are really into our time together. We typically do something as a vacation. I'm air quoting this, but it's more of a trip for us. Sometimes it's a weekend, sometimes it's a week. It just depends. But when we do book these trips, we like to do little surprises for each other. We booked that. Well, we have the trip booked. We're going. We know we're going. So we will do little things to surprise each other.
Mm-hmm.
Like the trip that I just booked. I told you, I was like, hey, okay, we've decided we're going to do this, so I'm going to book it. But what the surprise was, I got us a penthouse suite instead of just a little, because it's a cruise. So I got us the penthouse suite instead of the little
room with a balcony.
Room with a window, circle window, or a tiny little balcony.
You went a little step further.
And I
which
sent
just
you
adds that extra little intrigue.
Excitement.
Yes.
Because this penthouse is just going to be for us.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be amazing.
Oh, yeah.
But you were not necessarily looking to get a penthouse. You just like,
No.
yeah, let's go.
It's like, yeah, you know what? I think that would be fun. It's just you and I for a few. Yeah, absolutely. And this just adds that extra little level of excitement to it.
So
all.
when I sent you that link, it was wait a minute, you did what? Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. And the same with our upcoming trip.
Oh, I went all out for you on this trip.
Yeah.
I booked this entire thing, and I can't keep it. I wanted to keep it mostly a secret from you, but I couldn't.
We can't keep secrets.
I couldn't. So
Even good secrets we can't keep.
No, it didn't. So I mean, I was like, all right, well, we've got this and got this scheduled, got all this lined up. Oh, by the way, you've got a full spa day, massage, nails, the manicure, pedicure, the whole thing scheduled on this day. And the next day, I booked you all day a cabana at the pool, and then that night I've got a table service already scheduled. So I'm just. Yes, and that's just that little extra, little more stuff to get it. And it's so much fun when you do that for each other. And it's not something that hints don't have to be dropped for it. No. It's not expected, but it's like, and that just goes the other step of, oh, they were thinking about me.
Yes, and it's not like we're trying to outdo each other.
No.
At all.
No, it's because it's about what can I do for her.
Right, but this was also things that we would do for each other even when we didn't have money.
Yes.
Money can be an issue for people, and they're like, well, I can't book a penthouse suite for a cruise. No, it's not something that anybody can do, but you don't have to do things like that.
No,
to let each other know you're thinking about each other or you're doing something special for each other. It doesn't have to be a certain amount of money. We don't think about the dollar when we're trying to do something for each other.
It can be the smallest little thing because it just shows I'm thinking about you.
Yeah.
So that can be a huge red flag. So what's
like you getting me gas? Like you'll drive my car to the gym in the morning, knowing my gas light or my gas is low, and I'll need I'll need gas either that day or the next. You will go ahead and stop to get gas for me. I'm going to need it anyways. You will fill up the car for me. That alone is, oh my God, I don't deserve you.
Well, yeah, it's just one less thing you have to do. And if you don't have a Diet Coke, I'll get you a Diet Coke. You don't have a little protein shake that you drink in the mornings, I'm going to pick you up a little protein shake. So you'll have that too. So
Just
just
those
one less
little
thing.
things. It doesn't have to be something extravagant.
No. So, those are huge warning signs. Really quickly, 3 ways to prevent this from happening. As always, you got to talk. Open communication. You got to talk
Cannot
about
express
it.
that enough.
You see any of these warning signs? Talk. The second one, show appreciation for one another. I mean, it only takes a second to say, "Hey, thanks for doing the dishes. Hey, thanks for Hey, thanks for filling my car up with gas." That little 3 seconds of saying thank you, my goodness, that could go such a long way. It says, "I feel seen. I feel recognized. My efforts were noticed." And man, that feels really, really good. And that can be a little self-serving sometimes, sure, but I mean, we're humans. We're broken. We need this. So
That's an emotional connection
and
that
coming
we
from
need.
the most important person to us in the world just means the absolute world.
I can't tell you how many times a week I tell you I don't deserve you.
Yes, and every
it's true,
every single time I'm like, "Oh, you deserve the absolute best," but
Blah.
deep down,
I know I don't deserve you.
it feels good because I'm like, I'm taking care of the person I care about more than any other human on the planet. And the third, you got to maintain intimacy. You have to prioritize emotional but physical connection.
Yes.
It is a need for men and
It's
women.
a need for men, but it's also, it ties back into the reason why both people are getting divorced or leaving to cause the divorce, that emotional connection. Intimacy is part of an emotional connection.
Oh, it totally is. So we've said it before, but you can't. Sex is emotional, and there are deep emotions that are tied to sex, whether you want to believe it or not. It is. It always has been. It always will be. But yes, so those you have to communicate, appreciate each other, and stay physical. Stay physical as much as possible. So those are why men are leaving. Not a huge shocker. The emotional disconnection, probably a little bit.
That was a little bit of a shock.
But it just
to me.
goes to show you where we are as a culture today, and where we are. So listen, if that's you, there's some signs to it. There's easy ways, not necessarily easy, but they're simple. You just have to put them into action. You just have to go do them to be able to get out of that rut. Every marriage has peaks and valleys at different times. So if you notice yourself going there, begin with the simple conversation and being open and honest with each other completely.
Yes, don't let it get to the point where you don't know how we got here.
No, you definitely don't want to do that. So we got to go. You got any final thoughts?
I love you.
I love you so much. Let's get out of here. God, we love you. We are so thankful for all that you do. We're thankful for this platform that you have given us, and pray that we can just honor you throughout every bit of it. God, we pray for marriages. We pray for relationships, for them to be strong. So incredibly strong that there is nothing that can divide them whatsoever. And we know that if you're in the middle of it, that will be the case. God, what we've talked about on this episode, the one previously, why men and women are leaving their marriages. God, I just pray that blinders will be taken off of people. If they see these, that they'll be open enough to actually talk about it, to be able to have the marriage that you created them to have. It's the greatest gift that we'll ever have. And God, I pray people are able to experience that to the fullest. God, we love you and we thank you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Play ball.